Jon Pearson! Yeah, we're back. Comedy Virtually Live, number 13. It's unlucky for some. I never thought we'd make it to 13. I'm going to be honest. I never thought we'd get to 13 in my life. I thought we'd be all finished by this point. But no, apparently we're going to be going on forever because social distance is never going to end. That's what I don't think it's ever going to finish. I'm a bit worried now that we're going to have to do just months of just standing at least 2 meters away from people. I saw on the comedy world, somebody did a gig in their cul-de-sac last night. My agent, in actual fact, did a gig in his own cul-de-sac. I was free but didn't get booked, which is a nice thing to know that your agent's not even booking you for fucking real gigs anymore. Hope he's watching because you're not getting 50% from these fuckers tonight either. So there you go. That's how it works. So welcome along to Comedy Virtually Live. We've got a hell of a lineup tonight. We've got proper full on like TV. We got people from off the TV on tonight, which is great. We've got everyone. It's great. It's amazing. I love the fact we're covering all channels. I don't know exactly all the channels everyone's been on, but I have also been on. I was on Rugby Special in the 1990s. If you paused it at the right point, you could see me in the crowd at a Leicester Tigers game. So it's a full on TV lineup. They're on my credits. They are definitely on my credits. That's what it is. So I hope people are watching over on Facebook. I hope people are watching. I can't see if anyone's watching. I'm going to be honest. There's no.
My brother's watching. Hi, Roland.
Oh, it's Roland watching. Okay, hi Roland. Thank you very much for coming along. It's lovely to be here. Arabella's not here yet. Arabella, who normally comes in late, but you know we have got Pad and Shell, which are normally the people that wander in at about 7:45. I'm going to be honest. They're here straight away, early morning. I'm assuming they've come in out of the rain because Shell was lounging around on the lawn earlier because I saw the picture of her on Facebook. No, okay, fair enough. Good. So yeah, I'm quite happy. I'm also happy with myself today because today was the first day. Because if no one knows, I've been brewing beer, so I've been brewing my own beer, and I made one that was really strong, and it was mango-y, and it's like 7% because I forgot that fruit ferments as well. So it was 4.5 when I tested it. And then when I put the fruit in, that fermented it, and it went to 7%. So it's like rocket fuel, and you feel really pissed on it. But today I've done an IPA. I did an IPA 2 weeks ago, and I've tried that today. It tastes the best fucking beer I've ever tasted. I'm going to be honest. It tastes like I would buy it. That's what I'm saying. And the wife tested it, and she said that's really nice. And she's now asleep. So I don't know exactly what
asleep.
I think it's around about 5.5, 6%. Let's be honest. I'm thinking about, I don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe Rehypnol. I don't know. Is that too much? Was that too far at 7:30 on a Sunday? Probably was. It probably was too far at 7:30 on a Sunday. So I don't know where everyone is actually. Everyone in the if you're on Facebook, give us a shout out to where you are. But where's everyone in the country that's in the group? So Donna, where are you from, Donna?
I'm in Bideford.
Bideford. That's near Cirencester, yeah?
No, it's North Devon.
North Devon. So you're all the way in North Devon?
Yes, miles away.
You might be the furthest away, I think. Don't know. Pete Wilkinson, we know you're in Leicester. You're in Melton Mowbray.
Yeah.
Nick and Jade, you're in Nottingham.
Just south of Nottingham.
South of Nottingham. Jason and Charlotte live about 100 yards away from where I am right now. In Sutton Ashfield. Pad and Shell, you're in Stapleford, Nottingham. And Chris, where are you from, Chris?
Burbage by Hinckley.
Burbage by Hinckley. Oh, I know that. I used to work in Hinckley, Chris.
Right.
I used to work at Allen Nuttall Limited. Did you know it?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good chat. Thanks a lot for that, Chris. I hope you're enjoying your corned beef sandwich.
I've finished it now, so yeah, it's all gone.
Oh, you finished it now, have you? You finished
it back to the tea now.
Oh, good. I'm pleased. I'm glad you've enjoyed your corned beef sandwich. Good. Who have we got over on Facebook? Oh, we've got Roland's in Hose. I didn't know he lived in Hose, Pete, your brother.
Yeah.
Why has he never been to the actual gig that I run in Melton Mowbray that's only 4 miles away from Hose?
Because he works nights, mate.
Oh, right, okay. What does he do?
He works for a haulage company. One of the big
ones. You couldn't
ones.
tell us what he did then. He's a drug dealer, isn't he?
Yeah. They have a list of excuses, he tells me. Do you know, like when they phone up to say that your 9 o'clock delivery's not coming, they have a list by the phone and they just decide who's not going to get it. You know, so they can't deliver everything at 9 o'clock, can they? So they have a list of excuses like, it's the different driver today and he doesn't know the route, apparently. That's true.
Have you just given away some sort of trade secret for the haulage firm that Roland works for? Roland, let us know in the comments whether you've got a job anymore. Your brother's just completely fucked up your entire life. That's what he's done there. You now can't give your excuse over to what's actually happening. Right, okay, I think we're going to get started. We've got Eve. Hello, Eve's here as well in the Facebook comments. Right, I don't know where Arabella is. I'm a bit worried that Arabella's she was out in her tent. Did you know she camped last night because the virtual pub that we're doing the gig in did download, but they did it in tents outside, so they did like all music outside and stuff like that. And Arabella camped last night, so I'm worried that she might be out in this thunderstorm and not got back in. That might be where she is. I don't know, but we're going to get on with it. Is everybody ready? Should we get on with it? Yeah, we've got to get on with it. Well, our first act is Lloyd Griffith. It's absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to have Lloyd on here. He's going to be absolutely fantastic. So I hope he's ready, although he's not come back online yet. So I might... Oh, there he goes. There we go. There he is. There he is. Right, okay. So after 3, we're going to welcome Lloyd to the stage, everyone. Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Right, 1, 2, 3. Go clapping. Start cheering. Please, on the stage, Lloyd Griffith, everybody.
Hello. How are we all? Are we okay?
Yeah.
I'm doing this gig from my mum's dining room in Cleethorpes. And I'm, oh my God, Pete Wilkinson, what the fucking hell is that, mate? I'm not going to be able to do this gig.
It's a meat monster.
Jesus
That's for
Christ.
a big one, but fucking hell.
Well, I'll get on to what I was going to talk about in a minute, but can that get closer to the camera? Oh my God, what is it? So, okay, I'm just going to guess what's on there. Whoa, get back out. Let's have a look. Thank you. So I'm guessing that's some sort of like mighty meaty situation.
It's got to be a mighty meaty, hasn't it? There is no other pizzas.
Oh, right. Okay. I was worried that you didn't know what you'd ordered then. I was like, what kind of animal? Just goes, yeah, just surprise me. Just turn up with something. Do you know what I mean? Jesus.
All of them.
I mean, this is worse than doing a gig in a strip club for me, mate. Just watching you on your sofa. I mean, I feel like I should be paying you. Now, oh, this is so hard, and I'm kind of semi-aroused. Now, I'm doing I'm doing lockdown with my mum, which is I'm 36 years old. I live in London. I'm having a midlife crisis, to be fair. So she's got a guest house. So I should mention that's why that is so big. That fire alarm is so big, because that's one of the first things that people. What the fucking hell's that in the corner? It's a fire alarm. So just FYI. Also, I think I've done about 6 or 7 of these gigs now, and they've all gone really lovely. But after the first one, I got a message on Instagram, a DM from a lady, and she's like, "Hi there, I saw the gig last night online. I thought you were brilliant." And I was like, "Oh, okay, here we go." And she went, "I just thought I'd let you know. I think your mum's wallpaper's on upside down," and it genuinely is. That is my mum's wallpaper. She's had it for 10 years. She Googled it afterwards, and it is. It's just. It's supposed to be chandeliers, but it's upside down. So it's absolutely I said that Cleethorpes is well on the east coast of England. Are you all Leicester-ish? Is that roughly where you all are?
I'm in Devon.
Oh, okay, that's nowhere near Leicester. Okay, so I'll just crack on with just assuming you're all around the world. So I'm from Cleethorpes, which is on the east coast, in between kind of like Hull and Lincoln. Do you know what I mean? Really sexy. But I left when I was 18 years old. I left Grimsby when I was 18 years old, and this is like the longest I've been back here. But the thing is, my mum forgets that, so she just acts like I've been here day to day. So like the other day, right, she came back from the avenue, like St. Peter's Avenue. She went, just bumped into Sue down the road. I was like, who's Sue? She said, you know Sue. I was like, I don't think I do know Sue. You do. Sue, as if saying it twice. I'm like, oh, Sue. Yeah, I remember Sue. I was like, I don't think I do remember Sue. She went, you do. She was an hairdresser down Ladysmith Road at Avant-Garde. I was like, no, I don't think you went to school with her, Charlotte. I was like, oh yeah, what year was that? She went, reception, I think. I was like, well, I'm not even joking. Now I'm being heckled by my mum. What are you doing? Jesus Christ. Gig. Who's at the door? That is unbelievable. About my mum. I've got a 15-minute thing, then I've got a singing thing at about at 8:30. She was like, yeah, that's not. I can see it. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. So she was like, you were at school with Charlotte and you were in reception. I was like, yeah, but I was like, what? 1, 2, or 3 hours? I wouldn't remember that. She went, okay. She went, right, Sue, what can I tell you? She had dead long hair, then she had it cut short into a bob in like the late 90s. Like, well, how am I going to remember some woman's hair from the late 90s? I was like, Mum, I don't think I remember Sue, oh God, Sue Doughty. She got that Nissan Micra that changed colour in the sun. I was like, Mum, you're going to have to drop it. I've got no idea who this bloody woman is. She went, oh, fair enough. Was genuinely angry, went to walk out of the room, turned around and went, stabbed her husband. I was like, mention that at the start. Do you know what I mean? I can remember Stabby Sue. I don't remember she was a hairdresser, but remember she was very handy with a pair of scissors when she was needed. I've got no idea what my mum's doing out there. But we've got CCTV, so I can see she's gone out, but it's absolutely fine. So it's been fun doing these gigs. I've got my hat on as well, because what is underneath is an absolute disgrace. I always said if I ever had like 3 or 4 months off work, I'd go to Turkey and get a hair transplant. And you can't even travel, so I'm fucked. Not even that's me just having a. I mean, this is more like therapy as well as comedy. I've been doing. Done quite a few of these. And there was one last week, quite a big one. I was a little bit nervous about it. Anyway, I was talking about what I was doing whilst at home with my mum, and also she bought a bike. Scared about getting it wet, so she just left that in the dining room. She doesn't know what a bike it is. So she's on the Slimming World diet. So we've been having quite a lot of Slimming World meals, which I'm not knocking, very tasty. And I was chatting about this. And what the big thing is, it's a massive stigma about men going to Slim World. It's very much a female-dominated world. There's about 95% of females, about 5% of males. And I said, I was on this, there was about 90 or 110 people on this Zoom. And I said, look, are there any blokes here, any men that are a member of Slim World? And a bloke put his hand up. I was like, oh, look, and we kind of spotlighted him. I had a little chat to him. I was like, well, how long have you been going, mate? If you don't mind me asking. He went, oh, I don't know, about 10, 15 years. Like, well, that is dedication. I was like, and how much do you weigh? He went, weigh about 10 and a half stone. I was like, okay, cool. And how fat were you at your fattest? He went, I don't know, mate. I've always been about 10 and a half stone. I was like, okay. Well, you go for inspiration? He goes, well, not really, mate. I just sit at the back and watch. I was like, you what, mate? Sit at the back and watch. I was like, yeah. I was like, okay. And he goes, well, sometimes, I eat. I was like, eat? I was like, you're worse than Pete Wilkinson. I was like, well, it's a bit insensitive given the situation. I was like, do you go on your own? He goes, no, I don't go on my own. That'd be weird. I was like, that is not the weirdest bit of this chat, mate. I was like, if you don't go on your own, who do you go with? He goes, well, I usually go with mates. Like the week before lockdown, I actually went on a date. I went, you went on a date to Slimming World? He went, oh, shit, sorry, mate. I thought you said Cineworld. That's what we just talked about. No one's question. He said, why is he asking me so much about my BMI? I just want to talk about my I've really no idea what I've got. The front door's open on the CCTV, but she's just, she's out there. So, what else can I tell you? Yeah, so I've got to shoot off in a minute after this. I'm doing a singing thing. I'm a singer as well as a comedian. And what I used to do, I used to ask the crowd when comedy was a thing back in the olden times, where real life people go, what do you think I do for a living as well as comedy? So I'd say to Jason, Jason there, I'd go, Jason, what do you think I do for living as well as comedy? And Jason, you would say,
plumbing.
Plumbing. Okay. Yeah, it's a plumber. Yeah. You really shit yourself there, didn't you? Plumber. Fuck.
It's been that long. I forgot.
Well, how to speak to people. Yeah. Oh, I feel sorry for you, because it looks like you're in a really happy relationship there. I live with my fucking mum, mate. Now, I did a gig in Birmingham, and this is why I don't usually ask the crowd anymore. Gig in Birmingham about 5 years ago. A bloke on the front row. I said, mate, what do you think I do for a living as well as comedy? This bloke looked at me, panicked, went, oh, I don't know, mate. Darts. A fatally. I'm not going to lie to you. I've always wanted to do comedy and just do it at a wardrobe. And tonight, Thea's really made that life dream come true. So thanks very much. And she's not going to realise I spoke to you. I do comedy gigs online on Zoom, but then I'm also a singer as well. I sing at places like Westminster Abbey, Windsor Castle, because I'm a choir boy. I'm a genuine choir boy as well as a comedian. Just 1 second while my mum comes through. Okay. Who's that? Oh my God. Right, I'm not even joking. I went, who's at the door? She went, never you mind. She went, but there's an injured crow in next door's garden. This is what it's come to. Oh my God. Oh, I know. I'm doing my step. Well, but yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah. So I basically I'm a singer. I'm a choir boy. I do it professionally, and obviously comedy gigs have been online, but also I have to have my singing lessons online now. So I you book singing lessons in a group of like 12. I get them from a lovely bloke called Nick. He lives in Cheshire. He usually comes down to London. I have him in a little studio there. Obviously that's all booked, so I have them online. I usually have my little AirPods in. And I do my singing, and it's usually fine. But the other week it kicked off a little bit. So as I say, I'm in my mum's dining room in Cleethorpes. Now, what I should mention to you as well is that when I sing in a voice called the countertenor, otherwise known as male alto, and countertenor is actually Latin for a little fat bloke that sounds like a woman. So just wear the dress and the ruff. Do you know what I mean? Like usually when I'm like singing in a quiet situation. So I'm having this singing lesson, okay, and I've got my AirPods in, and Nick's on Zoom. I mean, there's just the two of us, and so it's quite high singing. So I was there singing a medieval song called "It Was a Lover and His Lass." So it just goes like this. It goes, "It was a lover and his lass with a and oh, and as I was singing this, so there's no need to applaud because it'll be weird. So I'll just crack on. So as I was singing, stop it. I could hear a knock. I could hear a knock. And I know there was some roadworks being done on the road outside next to the Dead Crow, and so I thought, oh, it might be them. So I'll just crack on singing. So I was there going, nonny, nonny, not in springtime, the only little ring time when. And then the knocking got louder, and I realised, oh shit, it's not the roadworks, it's a neighbour asking me to be quiet. And I thought, no, fuck off. This is your mum's house. I'm gonna soldier on. So I carried on singing. Springtime, the only little ring time when birds will sing, hey ding a ling ling, hey ding a ling a ling, hey ding a ling ling, sweet love is love. And then the knocking really kicked off, and I got pissed off. And the little counsellor the little Grimsby boy in me thought, you know what? No, I'm not having any of this. And I've got a baritone voice. I've got a man's voice for when I need it, and so I used it, and I was like, nah. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And there was no more knocking, and actually happened. I didn't fuck up the words. I'm just thinking about the Crow. I felt like a bit of a legend. Forgot all about it, and about 45 minutes later, hour later, I went to leave the house. As I was leaving the house, one of the guys, the road workers there, went, "Hey mate, are you leaving?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "Do you mind just pulling your window down or shutting the window, because we're going to be doing some drilling. I don't want any dust to get into the front window." I was like, "Oh, bless you. I'll go back in and close the window, but thanks for letting me know." He went, "Do you want to tell your missus as well?" I was like, "What?" He went, "I heard a girl singing in the back. Do you want to tell your missus as well?" I was like, "Yeah." What is she like? She's made up. She's made up. I'm so lonely. I'm gonna leave you with one more thing, and then I'm gonna go have some flatbread with my mum. Not a euphemism. And then I've got my little singing thing at half 8. I've come back, and I've still got, even though I left when I was 18 years old, I've still got quite a lot of shit that's clotting up the house. I'm not sure if that's a phrase. Clogging up the house. That's what I meant to say. Jesus Christ, I think I'm having a stroke. So you can only smell toast, but it's generally the flatbread that I've just mentioned. So it's the flatbread. It's fine. So my mum was like, "Look, you've got some of this stuff that's in the attic. Why don't you get rid of it?" So I've started selling some of the stuff, and I'm quite musical, but there's certain instruments that I can't play. My mum got me a guitar for my 18th birthday. It was a Fender. So I decided to sell that, and so I put that on Facebook Marketplace, because Gumtree hasn't arrived in Grimsby yet. And I got a message from someone saying, "Hello, how much do you want for it?" I was like, 120 quid. He's like, "Not a problem, sounds great. Can I come and collect it tomorrow?" I was like, "Sure." A few days ago, the doorbell rang. I went and got it. And the first thing I noticed about this person was that they had no arms. Genuinely had no arms. Wearing a t-shirt, but there were visibly no arms. And because it's a guest house, I was like, "Hello, mate, you all right?" He's like, yeah, I'm here for the guitar. I was like, "Okay, the Fender." He's like, "Yeah, the Fender." I was like, "Yeah, just 1 second, mate." I went and got the guitar, and as I came to the door, I was like, "Look, mate, this isn't my place to say this any way, shape, or form, but I'm sending you this guitar for 120 quid, but you've got no arms. I just wondered, how is this going to work?" He looked at me and went, "I'm just going to play it by ear." It's an actual joke. Give you a breakdown, a little bit of singing, an anecdote, and there you go, an actual surgical joke. Almost like I'm a comedian. Yeah, I really like the wardrobe, by the way. Look, I'm gonna go. This has been lovely. I'm not even saying this. This has been one of the nicest ones I've done today. So thanks for having me. I'll come back on in a few months once I've fully lost it, and you can see. I'm gonna go. John, thanks for having me. I'll see you later on.
Cheers, mate. Lloyd Griffiths, everybody. Love it. Welcome along, Thea. You came in late. How are you, Thea? You all right?
Yeah, fine.
Have you been composting?
Yeah, I'm composting as we speak.
You compost as again. Are you actually as well?
Yeah, well, it's an ongoing process.
Okay, I suppose it doesn't stop, does it?
It never stops.
I suppose it kind of goes on during the day when you're not
all
even there.
through the night as well.
Do you have to always be there for the composting? Does it not happen if you're not there? Is it like
you really should
falls in the woods? Does anyone hear it? If you leave compost on its own, does it actually do anything? Is that the question to ask?
Actually, you really should open it and turn it every couple of days at least, so that it gets oxygen.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Don't even know if that's a thing. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if that's a thing. But do you have to turn it over? Do you have to turn compost over?
Yeah. Otherwise, it just gets it could get moldy, and it won't. It needs oxygen to decompose.
What do you use it for in the end? I'm generally interested. Actually.
For gardening. Yeah.
Cooking. Who said cooking? Pete, did you say cooking?
Yeah.
Fucking hellfire! Oh yeah! Oh look, you've grown some jigsaw pieces with it. They're fucking massive. That's a massive jigsaw you've got outside there, Thea. Well done.
It's a really hard one. It took me the whole lockdown.
That's what she said. Just keep throwing them up. Just keep throwing them up there. I'll just keep knocking them down. Oh, fucking hellfire. Thank you very much for coming along. And also, Arabella, welcome along, Arabella. You finally got in.
Yeah, I'm having problems getting on my laptop.
Okay, that's probably all the porn, isn't it?
Probably.
It's all the porn blocking you out. That's what that is.
You know me so well.
At least you're here now. I'm glad you've got in. I was worried when you messaged me, and I was like, well, there's fuck all I could do about it now, Arabella. I'm quite busy. I'd say quite busy. I'm not really. I'm just saying. I just keep saying that's what she said to everything that Thea says. That's basically my life now. That's what I do. So, welcome along. How was the camping out in the garden last night? How was it last night, Arabella?
Yeah, it was very, very good. I didn't get too cold.
Is it pissing it down with rain in Melton Mowbray now?
No, it's quite dry actually.
Oh, right. Well,
I'm not sleeping out there tonight.
Okay, you've moved back into the house. You're no longer a vagrant. Well done.
No. One night was in
there. Good stuff. Right, okay, shall we get on with the next act, everybody?
Yeah.
Excellent. Lindsey Santoro, you need to come off mute as well. Are you going to come off mute? Yeah, you are. Good. Well done. Okay, that's fine. I've done at least 3 gigs with Lindsey so far during lockdown, and the first one, no one could hear her. It was hilarious. For 5 minutes, she still did her set for 5 minutes. We didn't realise no one could hear her until someone put a comment in, put in, "We can't hear you," and we realised it had been 5 minutes of her just going. And they were just enjoying the interpretive dance from her living room. That's what they were doing for the first 5 minutes. But yeah, we're going to have Lindsey. So is everyone ready for Lindsey, everybody?
Hey.
Excellent. So after 3, we're going to welcome Lindsey Santoro to stage. 1, 2, 3, start clapping. Start cheering. Welcome Lindsey, everybody.
Thank you for joining me in my living room. It's lovely to be here. I've come quite a far way. I'm really loving the moment is Pete and his pizza, and it just defining gender roles. He's there with that big box, and his missus has got a little tidy plate for her pizza.
I gave her some.
You're not flung her the crust. I watched. Not even stuffed crust. You won't pay £2.50, will you? I know you. I've met you. I just want to point out this as well. This is a cat bed. Oh my God, sorry. So basically, I've got dressed the top and not the bottom. And then that's awful. I think that's a cat bed, not like an anus. I just keep. Someone asked me when I was doing a chat, "What's she got a collapsed bum hole in the background?" Before I crack on with my nonsense, because basically sometimes when I do gigs, people look at me and I can see the little eyes judging me. You lot see more up. Sometimes I do these gigs, I see people go, oh, is she one of them? I can't work out if she's one of them or not. Oh, they can get married now and have kids. It makes me feel sick. I'll clear the air because I don't want people sitting there thinking who she isn't. Yes, you're right. I am from Birmingham, yes. I'm very sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. My little claim to fame is that I was, well, it's not really. I was born in Birmingham Sacred Triangle, and people often get that confused with the Balti Triangle, but it's actually the mystical land between Shoe Zone, the card factory, and Poundland. My mum had popped out for a packet of fags and she coughed and I just slid off into Iceland. It's beautiful. Talking about compost, was it Thea?
Yeah, that was me.
Not part of my set, but this is like in real life, this wouldn't be a conversation, but now compost is because we've got nothing else to do. So what happened was I've had a compost bin at the top of my garden since I've moved in, and it's just been, oh, sorry, I'm not a lesbian, but we'll get on to my husband in a minute. I've had a compost bin at the top of my garden. It's been there for 3 years, and I've watched all the YouTube videos, and I've been putting my compost in, and I've been turning it, and nothing's been happening. I've been working really hard, so I thought, fuck it, I'm pulling it out. So today, I moved this compost bin, I emptied it. It smelt of old shit because it was just mouldy. Oh, there's 2 fucking slabs under it. You meant to have the worms are meant to get up and eat it, right? I've just been throwing a bag of old muck. There you go. If anyone wants any, I'm in Northfield if you want to hit me up. Oh, it's actually really lovely to be talking. I'm in lockdown with my husband, and he's just, he's a normal person, and I'm not. So he's finding quite a stressful time for my poor little husband, David. He's not enjoying himself. I'm also not enjoying I've positioned the camera like this. I just need to say, like, because it's in my living room, right? And when I was sat upstairs, I was like, I can't sit at the desk because it's like, you know, when you're at that angle with your phone. So what I've got now is 2 trestle tables in my living room, and it's just points because I've had that many conversations in the past month just with me nan's neck like that. You've got enough toilet roll. Can you see me? What do you mean? It's not a gammon, it's my face. Now I feel really sorry for my husband because he's just trapped with me. And is anyone else finding that their other half is getting on the tits a little bit more than normal? Look at them 2 cups. I'm pointing, you can't see. Who is it? Let me hover my mouse over like my nan using a Sky remote. Pad and shell. Oh, dream. I was thinking how much different it is. Like, I remember when I first started going out with my husband, it feels like a million years ago, like the effort level you used to put in, especially when you knew you were going to have sex with. Do you know what I mean? You knew they were coming over, so you had to like proper try. So I remember the first night he was coming round to mine, right? I made sure the house was nice and tidy. I put some shake and back down and all that, lit some candles. It was lovely. I kicked my mum out the house, go play bingo, you bitch fucker. I set the scene, it was lovely. I'd done my makeup, I'd done my hair. I was like, tonight's going to be the night. I shaved my legs. Then you shave your legs, carry on going up, shave your bits, tidy that, do one side, the other, it's uneven, take it off. Keep going up, shave your armpits, shave your eyebrows. You think, fuck it, I've done nearly everything now. Shave your legs. It's completely Richmond sausage. I was like, that, come on, come get them. Now if I want to make sweet love to my husband in lockdown, all I've got to do to woo him now, I've realised, is just go into any room in the house, like quietly open the door and like come in like that and just shout, I've washed it! There's a hose pipe ban, but you get what you I was going to say, I've got a cat called Keith. He's a lovely cat, I love him very much, but he's not used to be. Because normally I'm obviously out and about, and my husband's at work, so he's used to. He's just used to having the house to himself. So I almost feel like a squatter in my own house at the moment, and it's very difficult because he's always up the fucking garden. I've got to whisper this. Next door thinks that my husband is called Keith. Called David, because when I moved in, I said, "Oh, Keith, I'm really sorry about Keith if you see him in the back garden, like just rolling around and like licking himself." Just whispering that. Has anyone else got an animal? Anyone? No,
Goldfish.
I just have the flies around my compost.
I wish I had flies around my compost. The old blob, but there.
It's called biodiversity.
Oh God, I'd love that. Love a few maggots. The things you dream for during lockdown. I don't like it though when I'm lying in bed like that, and I'm asleep. You know, when it's the morning and the sun's coming through the curtains like this, you're like, oh, it's beautiful. What a beautiful day it's going to be. And then you start to open your eyes. And as you focus, there's just this pulsating anus, like right there in your face. Feed me, I'm hungry. Oh, God. And then you roll over and the cat's there. I don't feel sorry. I used to look at my husband and get butterflies, and now I look at him and I feel like I've got worms. Do you know in that weird? Do you know? I feel like this is my last outing before I had. Why am I telling you this story? I feel like I'm in a self-help group. My last outing before was when I went to the doctors because I had worms. True story. No, because I went to the toilet and I saw it. And I thought, oh my God. So I rang 999 and they said it's not an emergency. I was like, it is for me. I went to my doctors and they said, just can you get a sample? I was like, what am I supposed to? I had to take my nan's Tupperware and like just get it in.
Oh.
I know. And then I took it and I was on the bus and I was like, oh, you know when you're like, you know when you look at people on the bus, you try and make up stories. Like when you're there, sat anywhere in public, just think and go, wonder if that woman's carrying around a tub of shit. She might. I got to the doctors and I went in and the doctor said, what's the problem? I said, I've got worms. Sorry, I'm putting you off your pizza, don't care. Anyway, so I went in. Says I've got a sample, so I give the doctor the sample and he put his gloves, you know, when they do that, and he went over to the sink and he went, it's really interesting. I said, medication. He went, no, it's just some bean sprouts you haven't chewed. It's a relief. Can I have my Tupperware back, please? It's not. Oh, I'm really sorry as well if I've had lipstick on my tooth the whole of this gig because I've got a. Oh no, I'm beautiful as well as glamorous and sophisticated. So basically, what happened was how I lost my tooth. I tell people like I did like extreme sports, but that's not a lie. Well, it is a lie. I once did rock climbing, and you had to climb over. This is nothing to do with the tooth story. It's just something that's popped in my head. I see this thing where you were climbing up the wall, and someone was like holding the rope for you, and it was my friend Anne Marie. She's about six stone and a bag of piss. And the wall, in the middle of the wall was like a viewing window. So anyway, I was climbing up this window, this wall, and then I was halfway across the window. My friend let go of the rope. Well, she didn't. I was just heavier than her, so it was like gravity. She can't help it. The harness went straight up, like made like what can you know, like a camel thing. I can say camel toe. That's not bad, is it? Made like, and then I kind of swung outwards and smacked my vagina into this viewing window. So that's. I actually lost my tooth when I was. John, sorry, I've gone off. How long have I done? You know,
it's fine. You've got loads of time. I'm just thinking it's like, do you know when a pigeon flies into a window? That's what I'm assuming you left on that viewing window.
That'd be amazing. No, I tell people I lost my tooth rock climbing, but I never did because I actually didn't. It was just what happened was I was out on a night out. You know, when you're absolutely shit faced, pissed, and you know when you get to that level, you're like, I'm not sure I've got here, but I need to go to bed. So I just fucked off. You know, when you fuck off, you don't tell anybody, and they all worry about you. Wake up to 700 text messages going, "Are you dead? Are you in a ditch? Why don't you try and track my phone like a good friend would?" Anyway, so I was trying to leave this bar, and this woman was in the. She was a bouncer. Well, she looked like a bouncer. I assume she was a bouncer, and she looked like a morbid. And I thought, God, don't do it. Anyway, so I ended up falling into her, and she fell into me, and then we had like a bit of an altercation, and she like nutted me in the face, and my tooth came out. So that's how I lost my. So the moral of the story is, if you are going to start a fight with Pat Butcher, please make sure it's just not a mirror. Okay. Do that. I'm not sure how I've got started arguments with ourselves in the mirror. My husband, I do feel sorry for him, but the other day he kind of redeemed himself. It was a beautiful moment. So we were just in the house, and you know when you're so comfortable, you just walk around naked. We were faffing about, pithering around, and I looked at him and I just said, "You're beautiful, you are." I said, "Come on, let's do it. Take me now. Let's make sweet, passionate love." And this is how I know he's the one for me, because he turned round and he looked me in my eyes and he said the most beautiful words I've ever heard in my entire life. "Or we could just have some profiteroles." I'm so sorry if I've gone on or done too little or whatever. I don't care. I'm going now. I'll just hide when I'm all right. Thanks, bye.
Lindsey Santoro, everybody. I think I don't know. I don't know if I prefer profiteroles. I'm going to be honest. I don't prefer profiteroles. I do like a profiterole, although apparently I pronounce profiterole wrong because I pronounce it profiterole. I like to put a comma in it. Anyone else do that?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that how it's profiterole? Not profiterole. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Obviously, no one else is with me on this one. I'm going to be honest. They're all just looking at me like I'm a twat. That's fine. Don't worry about it. That's what we like. Good. We've had a few comments come in. We've got some people watching. There's a lot of people watching in Melton Mowbray. I'm going to be honest. Melton Mowbray does seem to be quite a hub for this gig, mainly because I think it's because I normally do my normal gig, so that's why we've got so many Melton Mowbray people in there. So that's nice to have them there. I think. We've not got anyone. I think you're the furthest away, actually. I think, Donna, I think you're the furthest away in Devon. I think you're pretty much the furthest away. So well done for getting a good internet connection. Where are you, Thea? Where are you based? You in London?
I'm in Finsbury Park.
Finsbury Park, the posh part as well. Well done. No wonder you have to compost.
It's the only way to get good soil.
What, because you've only got a window box?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. That's just my knowledge.
Yeah, I'm like Henry David Thoreau here.
I'm going to be honest, don't know who that is.
Oh, it's an American who spent a few months living in the woods just to prove that he does.
A little bit like Bear Grylls.
I don't know who that is. It's
exactly.
the British American divide. We'll never get along.
It's not gone across the pond, has it? That Bear Grylls never made it, although he would apparently have made it across the pond and probably then drank his own piss, which is exactly what Donna's doing at the moment as well. Donna's drinking her own piss, pissing carrots, which is what is that, Donna?
It's actually Jose whatever tequila.
You're drinking tequila?
Yeah, I'm afraid so, darling.
Wow, tequila on a on
a school night.
Yeah, Sunday night tequila is that's hardcore, isn't it? Is that anyone else on anything stronger than tequila tonight?
No, just vodka and tonic.
Oh, just vodka and tonic. That's all right. You've watered yours down, Shell. Is that what you've done?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well done. Anyone else? No one else is drinking. Is everyone else Is everyone else working? Is that what? Oh, Nick's on red wine. I knew you'd be a red wine man, Nick. I'm going to be honest.
Waitrose.
It's Cointreau.
Waitrose.
Oh, Waitrose. Oh, of course it's fucking Waitrose. Jesus Christ, Nick. Jesus Christ. Nick, you just put every single cliche together, don't you, Nick? I think that's what you do. You can't work technology.
I'm sitting in the drawing room drinking Waitrose red wine.
Are you in the drawing room as well? Oh, for fuck's sake. This is unbelievable. Nick's got a fucking mansion. We could all go to Nick's house and do this gig socially distanced, probably. It's so much fucking room. we can all do it in different rooms. That's how we do it. Right. Okay. Good. Right. We're going to have to get on because it's getting towards 1:15, and I need to get there's other people that need to come on in the virtual pub, and I just keep going over time. So we're going to get our headline act on. Ready for our headline act, everybody? Woo! He's absolutely amazing. I've gigged him all over the country. He's absolutely fantastic. His name is Noel James. He's brilliant. So after 3, we're going to start clapping and cheering. 1, 2, 3. Start clapping. Start cheering. Please welcome Noel James.
Thank you. Can I just check? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Oh, that's a shame. Because I was hoping for a minute's silence tonight because I did get that in my last gig. That was good. No, because I've never done a gig before in this format. In fact, I've never done comedy before in any format. So good luck, everybody. I've been really struggling, during this lockdown, because it's like living in my own head, which wouldn't be so bad if I wasn't so narrow-minded. I have been taking some of Trump's advice. I mean, Trump, of course, has declared diplomatic immunity against the virus, and he advised everybody to drink disinfectant, which I did try, and then I was done for domestos abuse. But, practicing social distance is a good thing, and if we practice it enough, we might get it right one day. I mean, where I live, there's people gathering, because I live in Wales. You probably gathered by the accent. My mother was actually a Swede. My father was a parsnip. But anyway, I love Sweden. I love the furniture. I don't want to mention the name because product placement is something I care nothing for. But we still have lockdown in Wales, but people are coming every weekend. They're in the hills, they're in the parks, gathering. Is putting a tremendous pressure on the National Trust. And another thing, that was a funny thing. No, it wasn't. I've been trying to meditate, I've been trying to, and I'm on medication every day. I've been chanting a mantra every day to help me stay sane. And my mantra is murder my mother, murder my mother, murder my mother. Actually, that's more pre-meditation. And I've also, I've had some, I had to go to the optician, but the optician's closed. I had to get some prescription glasses made. So I made the prescription glasses myself. I think they're the wrong prescription. Luckily, my drug dealer has still been operating during the lockdown. Well, he's a key worker. A couple of keys here, a couple of keys there. I'm joking. I've been joking for 3 minutes now. Have you noticed? I never touch drugs. I don't need to touch them. I use a syringe. I mean, I did have a terrible habit. When I was young, when I was naive, I went to Thailand to find myself. I mean, it would have been easier to find myself on Facebook, to be honest. But anyway, I went to, I'm turning into a lizard. Anyway, I went to Thailand, and basically, I did a terrible thing. I injected myself with the magic mushroom omelette, which was fucked up, because the eggs were too strong. And I got this hallucination. I don't know if anybody here has ever had a hallucination. Have you had a hallucination? Well, you'll know what I'm talking about. I suddenly saw a woman appear, which obviously so far doesn't suggest hallucination. That happens every day to me. But I looked closely. She was a naked, dead woman on a horse coming towards me like Lady Cadaver. She come up to me. She opened her eyes and she spoke. I don't know how she spoke through her eyes, but she said, "Welcome," she said. "Welcome, my son. Welcome to the land of milk and honey." And I thought to myself, land of milk and honey. I thought, there's no afterlife for vegans. For those of you who don't know what a vegan is, which seems to be an awful lot of you, a vegan is somebody who doesn't eat. I'm not a strict vegan. I eat meat. I mean, fish, chicken, that sort of thing. Hippopotamuses, tortoises. that sort of thing. Porpoise, anything ending with Mrs. I've eaten Chris Dunn's Mrs. That was for charity. Sorry, no, I love food. I used to be a food sampler. I used to run a business as a food sampler until the tax office said I was cooking the books. That's bullshit. That's rubbish. The truth is, there's no accounting for taste. I've done a lot of shit jobs in my life. In fact, I'm doing one right now. I used to work on a fish farm, but the tractor sank. And then I was working as a plumber. I lost the plumbing job because I tried to bleed the radiator with a leech. But you know what? I've just come back from a festival in Loch. These are all lies. Obviously, I've not been fucking anywhere, but I've just come back. The fiction of comedy becomes more apparent during a national crisis. Crisis? What crisis? I'm quite enjoying myself, actually. No, you're right. I didn't say that. I did, though. No, listen. A good sheepdog is hard to come by. I've just come back from a festival in Loch Ness. Well, I caught the tail end of it, and I was there doing a gig. Bloody difficult audience, mind you. There was all jazz singers in the audience. I thought, how am I going to make jazz singers laugh? After 5 minutes of my comedy, they were booing me. After 10 minutes, they were booze-up-up-a-zooing me. The jazz singers. You know, shall I explain all these as I go along? I'm quite happy to do that. If you don't believe I'm a proper comedian, I've actually got a clip on YouTube. Who wants to see my clip on YouTube right now this second?
Go on, then.
Go on, I can do it. I've got the technology. Now, I made this one myself, and, you know, if I ever get a gig, I'll say to any of the comedians, I've got a clip on YouTube. I say I made it myself. Of course, Mr. Jones, my ironmonger, he helped me. He's also a key worker. So I went in to see him the other day and I said, Mr. Jones, will you copy my key? He said, not a problem, he said. How's that? An idiot. Photocopy I wanted. Anyway, I was in Scotland, and do you know what they told me in Scotland? They said it's now possible to catch the Loch Ness Monster using a giant fishing rod. Apparently, they've tried it before with no success, because what happened was they had the bait on the end of the fishing rod was completely wrong, and they've managed to fix the bait. Because, I'll tell you for why, because a few years ago in Scotland, they had a Scottish referendum which opened up a massive can of worms. And use those worms to lure the big fucking Loch Ness Monster out of the loch like a giant heraldic symbol of Scottish pride, which is far more powerful than the salmon or the sturgeon. Now, that may not be funny, but in terms of cleverness, you're there, lad. By the way, can I say what a pleasure it is to meet you all, or if there's any Yorkshire people in, what a pleasure it is to meet you. And I don't know what to say now because I'm shy. No, I do. I've had a terrible day. My wife is actually suing me for divorce because she says I'm impotent right now. There's no hard feelings, but that's the problem. That's right. I'm not going to get it to stand up in court. She said, if you don't give me sex, she said, I'm going to have an affair. I thought, fucking hell, good job she's giving me a choice anyway. Said, either I'll have an affair with a man or with a woman. I said, wait a minute, did you say with a woman then? She said, yes, if I have it with a woman, I will let you watch. Well, that was a bloody difficult choice because I went for the lesser of two evils. Good. The lesser of two evils. That's my first wife, by the way. My second wife, much funnier. I've got some very good news. Got some very good news tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My second wife she's due any day. How about that? Yeah. She's flying in from Thailand this week. Listen, I'm not trying to say she's a mail order bride, okay? I'm trying to say she's male. Anyway, no, leave it. Now, listen, there's all this business going on with all the statues and everything going on at the moment. Do you know what's really annoying for me? They want to build a statue of Mrs. Thatcher down in the middle of Swansea, which is ridiculous because it's never been it's mainly Labour voting. But there's nothing we can do about it because it's statutory. Right. I did say that, yeah. People ask me, why do I keep going off on tangents? I say because you've got to do something, haven't you, in life. You've got to do something. I used to drive a 4x4. Then I drove a 16 because the 4x4 got totaled. Now I drive... I almost fucked that joke up. I've got a peach impediment, you see. And I'm also dyslexic and colorblind. You can take all that as red, blue. I'll tell you someone else. Go on, Noel, say it. I went to the dentist. He's fitted me with braces. You know, my dentist, he gets on my nerves. Especially there's one back there he gets. And I was working. By the way, I hope you don't think I'm being, I do get a bit aggressive if I don't get enough laughs. That's just my style of comedy. It's an anxious style of comedy. The Daily Telegraph once said of me, well, it was some newspaper once said to me, I'm a razor sharp wit and all my jokes with a self-depreciating style. Or was it self-deprecating? Or was it self-defecating? Either way, when I read that review, I shat myself. Because actually it was a copy of the Telegraph, and it was a very old copy of the Telegraph, and the review, what it actually said was right, fine. I don't care if you're laughing or not. I've been paid already. I got the check. So fuck you. Now, Jon Pearson, he's given me the check. Look at the state of that check. He's been in and out the bank 5 times. What can you do with a check that bounces? I don't know. I don't mind if people laugh or if they don't laugh, but what really gets on my nerves, apart from the dentist, is when people laugh in the wrong places. For example, I did a gig in Bristol once, and people were laughing in Manchester. What was really annoying, I was doing the gig in Bristol, and somebody at the back of the room shouted rather snottily, I thought. They shouted, "You've got no etiquette." I said, "What?" I said, "What are you on about?" He said, You've no etiquette. I said, "Do you mind?" I said, "When I went to Korea, I ate a cat, a dog, and an alligator." Yeah. Because I did a tour of the East. I was studying comedy in China under the Grand Master Tai Ming, and then I went to Korea. It was the north of Korea, not like the south. It's got no soul. And I tell you what, it's a terrible place for comedy because they don't let you drink beer out there. It's teetotalitarianism. I do love food, and I met a woman. Actually, I shouldn't speak too loud. My wife is upset, but I met a woman on a dating website. She said her name was Frankie, and she's 25 years old. When I met her in the flesh, it turns out she's 75, but that was okay. It was a carbon dating website, and Frankie was short for Frankenstein. I thought, one of us has been stitched up here. Do you know what I mean? And straight away, I knew she liked food. First thing she said to me was, will you take me for breakfast at Tiffany's in New York? I thought, bugger that. I took her for breakfast at Stephanie's in Newport. Now, if you don't know Newport, I'm in Newport, Gwent, South Wales. It's a bit of a shithole. Newport's the type of place, on a Sunday, you see rail replacement bus spotters. But I did take her to a posh restaurant. I took her to one of those restaurants where you actually eat food off slates. Trouble is, she fell off the roof. No, really. I took her for breakfast at Stephanie's. I bought her a bowl of porridge because she said she liked haute cuisine. And do you know what? Turns out she's a bit mean. Do you know what she gave me for Christmas? One sock. I thought, that's odd. One sock. She said, have a look at that sock. I had a look. There was a very nice picture. Actually, it was a picture of 3 horses in a field. She said to me, that sock is symbolic of our stable relationship. I said, you're fucking right. I said, nag, nag, nag. She said, will you take me to a theme park? So I took her to Slimming World. That was a mistake. I should have taken her to Legoland because it's just a few blocks away. But also, I thought, you know, take her for a walk, get us something with exercise. Do you know what I bought her for Christmas? I bought her a 3-weekend kayaking course on the local canal. It's brilliant, kayaking. After 2 weeks, she said to me, this kayaking is brilliant. It reminds me, the more I do it, it reminds me of making love to you, Noel. I said, really? Is that because the more you do it, you can feel the paddle plunging deeper and deeper? She said, no. She said, it's because the more I do it, the less wet I get. I know. Now, Nick's clapping that because the last time he had sex, he got the clap. I don't know. Why bother improvising to a machine? No, I love this. I love this format. Maybe comedy will change forever after this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to finish my career now with... No, I just want to say thanks awfully. Thanks. I was intending to wear a poppy this evening as a tribute to my brother because heroin is his favorite drug. But at the end of the day, it would have been too, you know, I think I'd like to do some impressions, nice light thing, you know, family entertainment at the end of the day. It's not a bad thing. My first impression is my impression of the former Prime Minister. It's my impression of David Cameron. Okay, I haven't done it yet, by the way. I got it. Okay, here we go. I've got it. My impression of David Cameron is he's a fucking idiot. It's just my impression. Is that too political? I should stick to cock jokes, but listen, I got a political cock. Sometimes it's swinging to the left, sometimes it's swinging to the right. I'm just waiting for a general erection. And listen, I'm not saying I got a big cock, but I have. When I was 15, I had to be circumnavigated. My next impression, I'll do my animal impressions because I think I found your level. This is my impression of the barn owl. Thank you. Twitoo. Twitoo, twitoo. Now, I can see some of you thinking, hey up, that's not barn owl, that's a tawny owl. No. It's not a tawny owl, because a tawny owl turns its head all the way around. I can't do that. Believe me, I've tried, but I was done for possession. I'll move on. A couple of years ago, I don't know if you remember, there was a horse meat scandal. Hands up who remembers the horse meat scandal. Great. Now, my girlfriend was not bothered. In fact, she said to me, are you not bothered? She said, nay. You know why she's not bothered? Turns out she's French. Of course, the French have always eaten horse meat. In fact, all the food in France is a la carte. Said, is that right, Gigi? She said, oh, where? She said, well, no. Sorry about that. She said, we also eat frogs. Ladies and gentlemen, my impression of the frog. I got it. I think there's only one person laughing at that. He probably likes frogs. I think if this was a live gig, I'd go for his flies right now. I know this sounds like a bad workman blaming his tools, but I didn't realize there'd be so many fucking tools in the audience, did I? Mate, I've been a star this evening. When I say star, I mean by the time my act reached your senses, I'd already died. I'll finish with one of my favorite actors. It's Robert De Niro. Yeah, Robert De Niro. Okay, I've got it. I've got it, Robert.
That's really good.
I can't do the voice. I'm joking. I can do the voice. Harold! Harold! Well, I think that was a success. I'm sorry about that. I suffer from multiple personality disorder, but luckily I don't. And no, I've been to the doctors, but I don't fucking trust my doctor. My doctor said my forehead is unusually pronounced. I said, really? He said, yes, it's forehead. Well, I had to go. I had to go to the doctor because I was paranoid. I was getting a dry cough, wasn't I? I was getting a dry cough. I've got dry humor, and that fucks up me enough. Fuck it. I didn't even know how to fucking say that sentence. I went to because I had a coughing fit last week. What an undertaking that was. There's an undertaker there with a fucking coffin and an inch tape for good measure. He said, you never know when you're going to pop your clogs. I'll fit you for some clogs as well. I said, piss off. I'm not going to die in the near future. Of course, I didn't realize I'd be sitting here tonight in front of you lot when I said that. Yeah. Mind you, he did piss off. He got in his hearse or mobile death salon and he drove off down the motorway, says he's looking for work as he drives, which is completely fucking illegal. I mean, undertaking on a motorway. Anyway. I went to the doctor. I said to the doctor, I said, I didn't want to do the old coughing fit thing again. So I said, I've had a job breathing. Well, he said, congratulations on finding employment at last. I said, no. I said, I'm bronchial. He got his stethoscope. He put it on my chest. He said, breathe in. I went, "Urgh." Bloody hell, he said. Fair enough. Breathe out. Urgh. He said, you got tuberculosis. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been great. I know there is a gig in Melton Mowbray, and I have been there, but the last time I was there, they were building a nuclear power station. They were going to change the name to Meltdown Mowbray, so I don't know if I'll get to go back there again, but it's a great pleasure. Thank you very much, John, for inviting me. All the best. Stay safe. Good night. Good night.
Oh, James, everybody! Woo! Isn't he great? I told you it'd be great. I knew it was going to be good. Everyone knew it was going to be good. So that's it. We're finished. We've had a great time. If you're obviously if you're in here, that's absolutely lovely. If you're watching us on Facebook, please donate to the. I've put the links everywhere. Just donate to the PayPal link. It's going across the bottom of the screen now as well. If you're on Facebook, that'd be lovely. All split 25% between all of the acts. So it's split 4 ways between me and the 3 acts I've had on, and that's a way we could try and get paid because we're getting paid no money whatsoever to do things like this. Basically, that's what we're doing. I'll start selling kidneys at some point. That's going to happen. I think. In the next couple of weeks. What reminded me as well, I know Nick, Noel picked on you there saying that you got the clap last time you had sex. Something that happened this week, my mother-in-law believes she's got Lyme's disease. That's what she believes she's got. And the antibiotics you have to have for Lyme's disease are also the same ones you have to have for chlamydia. But she can't get the ones for Lyme disease from Boots online. So she's now claimed she's got chlamydia. She's 74. Just to get the antibiotic. My mother-in-law this week became a geriatric STI statistic because she can't get the right antibiotics. That's what I'm saying. So my mother-in-law's got the clap, but she hasn't got the clap. It's hilarious. Anyway, right, good. Right, let's go. Let's all go. So everyone, thank you very much for being in the group. Give us a massive round of applause for all the audience tonight. You guys have been absolutely fantastic as always. As always, we're going to be back again next week. I've not completely sorted the lineup out yet, but we're going to have some great acts on, let's be honest. So we're back again 7:30 next week. You guys have been great. If you're ever on Facebook, please donate. That'd be lovely. And if you want to donate while you're in the group, you can. You can donate more money if you want. That'd be lovely. But we're going to go. So give it up for all the actors. You saw the fantastic Lloyd Griffith. You saw Lindsey Santoro. And you saw Noel James. I have been Jon Pearson. We're going to go. Thank you very much. Cheers. Good night.